Good morning, afternoon or evening, and welcome back to Mid-Level Matchups. Yep, that's right, it's time for episode 2, and with it, the introduction of a new player. And that player is Lorenz11, and for an introduction to him, we won't be watching him actually play against another of our mid-levelers this week. Instead, he's going to be playing someone who's actually in the top 20. That man is Dunedan, so that's pretty exciting, I'm sure you'll agree. So let's meet today's player. It's Lorenz11, whose name is, funnily enough, Lorenz, and he's a young German who plays primarily with the Roman faction. So at the time of this game, his rating was 1502, but he's since shot up to 1533. As with most Roman players, he's a fan of the Lancer cavalry, and while he's not averse to using them for harassment purposes, he's also generally not one for making those moves very early in the game. So he tends to prefer to attack with numbers rather than with speed. Now, the real sign, though, of a Lorenz match is when he sends some sneaky rams around the side to destroy his enemy's CC. I'm not sure I've actually seen a match of his where he hasn't even attempted this, so if you're playing him, be wary, because this approach has been very successful, as it is attested to by his rating amendment, which shows the improvement that he's been making. So he's clearly one to watch, which leads very nicely to the next question. Why don't we do just that? And so welcome, we're now in the game and you'll see that it is a Roman civil war. So over here we have Dunedan, he is in the red, as we just explained, playing as the Romans. And over here we have our main man, Lorenz11. Now he will also be playing as the Romans, but he's in green. And having watched a few of his games, he quite often plays in green. So yeah, I guess he likes that colour. Let's have a look at each of their openings. So we can see that he's gone for the standard 6 soldiers, six women, whereas Dunedan's approach has been to get an extra cavalryman first to hoover up these chickens as quickly as possible before going for 5 women. And I would imagine that they will come over here to come and chop some wood. He's got a group of camels very nearby, and with it being the desert map, you know you're going to get camels and a few deer as well, so why not try and bulk up on your cavalry. Particularly lance cavalry are just fantastic in this situation as well. I'm just going to actually quickly put silhouettes back on because I've just seen that they've been switched off. Okay, pretend that didn't happen. Very professional, you know that. And let's see how he goes on. So Dunedan is, as you see, level in terms of population, and as you can see from both sides there are camels everywhere, and that's the beauty of one of these maps. You do have quite sparse wood, but what you do get is berries that kind of disappear, are quite often almost impossible to see, like this one, but you get these other big fig trees as well, and you'll get plenty of camels, so it's great for cavalry. And you've only got 2 cavalry so far, but I would be very unsurprised to find that we're going to that we would see a lot of back and forth in terms of cavalry. It's one of the quickest ways to boom. In this point, you get your military kind of expertise up very quickly, and you can collect an incredible amount of food. And there we go. You can see he's already started producing large numbers of cavalry. That's 3 cavalry there. And while, excuse me, somewhat unexpectedly, Lorenz is sticking it out with just the 1 cavalryman. He is a player that I have seen use cavalry rushes with great success in the past, so I hope that we will see that he utilises the large amount of camels nearby and for the resource that they are. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. So let's have a quick look at the map as well. On top of the large groups of camels nearby, I mean, you've got some there, more here. Even from what Dunedan could see at the start, he knows he's got a phenomenal amount of camels, so he's got it almost gives himself no option. Lorenz, on the other hand, can see the camels there and there, so he wouldn't have been able to see them beginning, but he should definitely know that they're there now. And so it's interesting he's actually waited until the 3rd minute. Because what could easily have happened here, if we look at the yeah, he's only produced women up to that point, and that's very risky because Dunedan's actually got 5 cavalry already, and he could have, if not more. Oh no, this is Dunedan just checking things out. Sorry, not Dunedan. Lorenz is just checking stuff out there, and he's running away. Well done in putting your soldiers or your women back in the civic centre. Very sensible. But he could easily have faced a rush from a number of cavalry very early on. So Lorenz now has much better map knowledge than Dunedan. He's taken an interesting approach actually. Rather than going around the outsides and coming around the back, he is going around the back now, but he's gone just straight into the heart of Dunedan's territory, which is interesting, although I think it could be what causes this guy to die now. So is he producing some more cavalry? He has produced a couple more. Yeah, he could have built another storehouse maybe around here just to be a little bit closer for those guys. But you know, this storehouse is ideal for these camels. But yeah, another one a bit further out for those camels would be sensible. But that said, it is very much all to play for. We've got Lorenz has taken a slight lead in population of 5. He's got a lot of idle women here. He could do with getting them to do something, anything really. Yeah, once maybe if he could get an expansion going out in this direction, he could get somewhere to. Actually, if you put a farmstead, if they're able to get one between these 2 fig trees, then that's great for these camels, both sets of camels there. So something to look at for future, but instead he's moving into farming. He's got these guys doing nothing, and with these camels here, that's not good. He needs to get them producing. And while all that's been going on, he's been getting another 5 cavalry, which is possibly to make some kind of momentum towards Dunedan's base. He's still not taking those camels. So in the red, what have we got? Yeah, he's still just got the 5, and he's been producing, if you have a look, he's produced a lot of skirmishes. So obviously he saw that cavalryman come through, he's done a bit of scouting, and it looks like he's bulked himself up militarily on the back of that, which is very sensible. He's got a barracks coming, we've got a barracks just here, and now he is finally taking those, which is really very sensible. And he's got 10 cavalry and another farmstead going up. That's the good thing about these maps. In terms of food, you're in a great position. You're going to have loads of hunt, and you're going to have plenty of opportunity to take the fig trees as well. So it's pretty much ideal for booming. The only thing is making sure that you can keep a good stock of wood, because each of these trees is only worth 200, and you don't get that many of them. If we just, how many is this? Okay, we can't see, we have to be as Gaia, but it's a few. But these are decent clumps actually, but quite often you get quite small ones where you've only got sort of 1400 wood, and then they're gone and you have to move on to a new spot. You don't get the same massive forests like you get on the autumn or in the temperate biomes. So over here is sensibly getting a little bit of extra stone. The reason for that is it will allow him to build another barracks. The Roman barracks do cost 200 wood, 200 stone, yeah, and 100 wood. So if you want to build more than one, and it looks like he would be able to use that to come out towards these trees potentially. But while that's going on, why don't we just quickly see how this attack's going to go? He should be able to slaughter these guys. How many is he going to take out? Okay, one of his skirmishes is gone. 2 now. They're not even attempting to fight back, and the this, although he's just got the 2 kills, look at the idle time. He said 27 skirmishes, so he's been collecting no food for that time, and he's been sending his skirmishers around, building a tower here, which I'm not sure that's particularly helpful because these 4 or 5 trees are virtually gone anyway, so he's not going to be doing much around there. But what's done is done. So not a particularly like horrific rush. He didn't lose any cavalry, I don't think. No, one got very, very close to death, but the rest of them are fine. And what has happened though is it's given him a slight population edge of 7, but now it's gone down to 4. He's going to surely either go to phase 2 or start producing. No, he's producing a couple more. So he's that. You can see he's got more wood, a hell of a lot more wood. And what's happened, that idle time has eaten into Dunedan's development, so it was pretty decent in that sense. So a nice little raid. And it just goes to show as well that a lot of people think, oh, I committed all these troops forward and no one was killed, or I killed 1 woman or something. And it's like, actually that can be pretty helpful. If you've got your opponent not collecting resources for 5, 10, even 15, 20 seconds, that's actually a hell of a lot of resources. So it's worth always bearing that in mind. And exactly as I predicted, just to say here, the stone gives him a 2nd barracks, and that barracks allows him to access these trees. So he's going to be producing 2 barracks. He just needs to make sure his economy is strong enough to do so, because this one's not producing anything at this stage. He's got plenty of food, but not a lot of wood. Okay, so he's going for... hasn't got the upgrade as well, which is not very sensible, whereas Lorenz is in a massive advantage here. That plus 15% is excellent, and he's gone to phase 2. So Lorenz is clearly ahead at this stage. He's got the higher pop, he's got better resources, a stronger economy, he's got decent, a more than decent sort of kind of military force, and with all these camels and stuff around, he's just in a great position. So he's both defensively, he would be able to hold someone off, but also attacking wise, he's certainly in a very strong position, and he's a phase ahead as well. So it's very unusual if you're the first one to go to phase 2 that you find that you're also doing it with a lead in terms of population, because it would make sense the other way. Effectively, he's committed 500 wood and food into going up to phase 2 rather than, and that's resources that Dunedan, for instance, could have used to build or to train soldiers. So he's producing in groups of 3, but here he's now got how many? 13 cavalry. Yeah, 13 cavalry as opposed to 10. So it'll be interesting to see if he tries to fight back. The thing is, now it's 11.5 minutes in. It's a bit late to be doing that. The skirmisher cavalry, if you're going to do it, you really need to do it quite early on. Even Lorenz left it quite late. But at this stage, it's probably the worst time to try and attack, because you're not even like later in the game where the only people that are going to be back there are your women, because your soldiers are on the front line. Like, everyone is in and around the CC. Is he going to be able to take out a couple? He should at least get 1 or more of them. And yeah, that's 2. That's a decent attack. He's got plenty of defenders, and like I say, you're not going to make any massive inroads at this stage, because there's just, even here, look at that, they're all soldiers. You're not going to find loads of female woodcutters sort of unguarded, and you're not going to find it's easy to get into the farms because there's too many people around, particularly mining the minerals right by the civic centre. So what happens is these become useful again a bit later on. So he's lost 1, but still maintains the lead. It's still a phase ahead, and if he can take advantage of that, so second barracks, I think that's his second barracks, it is, will allow him to get really good access to this wood, and so maybe do with another storehouse a bit closer to here, and also trying to build out towards these ones. But Lorenz has got great map knowledge. He's a phase ahead, and considering he's playing, as we've already established, he's currently Dunedan is 16th in the world, which is a really good rating and a good achievement. I'm not sure exactly what his rating was, or his ranking rather, at this point, but bearing in mind that Dunedan's actually seen his ranking drop, it would be no surprise to say he was in the top 15, perhaps even pushing the top 10. So to be so far ahead at this stage is a really, really good achievement. And let's see, how many buildings does he have to go through? So he's got the one tower. He's going to get I'm interested, he's got so much wood. So I find it fascinating he hasn't built a market immediately. I have to say, from me in that perspective, that's a mistake. He could easily have built a market, and he could have traded loads of this with 4,000 wood. He could trade some away for stone. It's an extra building towards phase 3, and here's his market already, yeah. And with that, he would already be looking at going to phase 3, while his opponent is only just hit phase 2. And if he'd done that, then Dunedan's just gone into the lead. He's coming around here, and he's building another civic centre. So let's see what happens in this little skirmish. This is the problem where your cavalry are hunting, and they get kind of a bit isolated. So he doesn't have a lot of them, and he's backing off actually when he could, particularly as this guy is on 5 health. That was a fight that Dunedan could have won, but in that time though, he looks to have committed too much to it, because Lorenz has now pulled well clear in terms of population. He's getting that temple up, which I believe will be his 4th town phase building. We'll see how close is Dunedan to going to phase 3. He still needs 2, so he needs this tower to go up, and I think that was actually, it looks like a bad exchange, but actually that was quite good for him, because it's slightly delayed this tower, and it has given him the scope to build that, which means he can now go straight to phase 3 once he gets 220 more stone. So he really just has to just trade that stone and go. Yep, he's bartered the stone, and is he going to go phase 3? Yes, he's going to phase 3. Excellent play. Really, really well done. And those handful of pike spearmen who have now started mining by mistake will be killed off in no time whatsoever. So territorially, I'd say he's looking good. Dunedan, but I do think, and he's going to phase 3. Strange way round. I would have expected him to go to phase 3 on this point, although he's only got 22. Rather than this, so that he could produce soldiers from this thing, because he needs to get his population up ever so slightly. He's not a huge amount behind. What are we looking at? We've got the first upgrade for what's it called? Yeah, the first upgrade for armor. And if we got the same, let's have a look. Where's his? I don't even think. There it is. He hasn't even got a blacksmith yet, so he's got the first armor upgrade. He's not going to get any more upgrades, but he's sending a group out here, and I think what we'll probably see is a wide expansion with the effort, or with the effect, or a wide expansion, or it might be it is an entrenched army camp. So we'll need to keep an eye on that. and here coming around the back. This is still a little bit early to do this. He needs these to have expired basically, because at the moment he's got a load of soldiers that will take him out, but after that he will be able to take out all of these without any difficulty. Just take them in, particularly while there's fighting like there is at the moment going on here. So this is, again, it's a useful exchange for him. It's distracting. There's hardly anyone there, they're going to die, but the distraction for him to build this and to get these guys going around the side is probably worth it, because it's the fortress. It is. So he's got a fortress, got plenty of soldiers there. He's only got the one upgrade. These guys took out a house and then they come back, so they haven't really done a lot. So it'll be interesting. What's he gonna? Yeah, once he gets some wood together, what will he be producing? That's the question. Has he taken the murder holes? No, he hasn't. So they can actually stand underneath. What's going on here? Oh, we got another battle going on, and he's taken out all of these. This could be a weakness. That's a lot of soldiers to be taking out of the centre of the map. If Dunedan were able to attack, which he looks like he will be able to shortly, he could send rams in and basically... Oh no, he's bringing some back. Swordsmen. Yeah, swordsmen are amongst them. Swordsmen are actually critical at this point, because you need someone to stop the... what do you call it? You need someone to stop the siege weapons, and that's what you're going to get. Okay, so he's got his military colony. He's started to produce rams, so it'll be a vintage move from Lorenz. No doubt you'll see him stack up the rams. You'll probably add a load of skirmishers and pikemen or whatever to take out any defensive soldiers, and he'll just send 3 or 4 rams in with an attempt to take out the CC. And yeah, let's see what happens. He's got loads of food, but he's really short of wood. In fact, both of them are short of wood, which is going to impact their ability to make siege weapons. He's also got a population cap problem, so, and that means he just needs to build houses. It's not even he's actually pop capped in a real sense. He just doesn't have the houses, which is insane. He's got plenty of wood. I just need to keep an eye on this. Now, how many are there? 1 ram. We got a little excursion going on here, but they do not want to be taking on spearmen. They are, yeah, that is the worst possible soldiers they could be facing. And this, now we've got him attacking, and here comes ram number 1. So that ram, and he's getting the advanced siege, which will give him extra protective capacity. He should be able to take out this. He's trying to pack it up, and he has done, and for some reason it's not attacking. It's gone after the house, which is not what he wanted. And so he just needs to really wait here. Keep looking at it. I'm going to keep the thing on the display with the hope that you can see there. So just I want to keep that on display so that I can see when these rams are jettisoned or ungarrisoned, and see the spearmen, sorry, the swordsman there going after the ram. He's still like, it's interesting, even aware that's there. So Dunedan knows it was being built. So he should really be aware of this, and if he was to come towards this thing as well, that might offer him some help. So now he's sending in the ram, but with a bit more defensive units. Okay, a couple more there are coming. So in here he's gone for quite a defensive setup. He's putting the catapults and spreading them out, which is quite sensible. They can cover one another that way. And they are, yeah, they're going to do a pretty decent job, I would imagine. Here, he's seen it, but he's most interested in this. So the civic centre's gone up, but the big thing is there. But the beauty of these kind of side-on attacks is that quite often, like here, he can be microing his ram. Why the ram's going after a storehouse is of no use whatsoever. I really wish there was more. Here they are. They're getting ready to go. But yeah, I wish rams would like focus on buildings of value. Like they seem to knock down storehouses and farmsteads that aren't being used anymore. You know, and you just think, they've got a barracks and a tower right next to it. If they could just go towards, let's think, okay, he's got 17 swordsmen, so if he pulls them all together and gets them towards these rams, then he has got us a chance defensively. He sees them coming. What have we got here? It's skirmishers and a handful of swordsmen. That's not good. I mean, the handful of swordsmen is not that helpful, and we've got some pikemen and some skirmishers inside the rams. That's classic. Classic Lorenz, really, really good in that sense that so many people send these things. This is what's going on. But so many people send rams without any soldiers in, and what it means is that the rams are able to be picked off. But by putting stuff in there, he can send these soldiers out. They can start attacking the other side. Desperately trying to get his women to rebuild the CC. It's gone. And now he does have a large group of people that can try and fight that. But that is not good. We've got another military camp over here that's producing three rams at the moment. And there's another battle going on here in the centre. So it's been... yeah, these guys are just going to die. He needs to pull those soldiers out. Yeah, it's like, pull your men out, Gorman. If you've watched Aliens, then you would know that that's when it's hopeless. That's what you do. You don't layer suppressing fire with the incinerators and fall back to the whatever he says. God, and these guys are still taking stuff out. Amazing. So he's given up on rebuilding the CC. But these guys are still going to be picked off. Let's take out that ram. And he's got first upgrade for everything. And he's getting the new upgrades now. What about... he only has the first armour upgrade. So at this point, if Dunedan can get himself, back together, it's just his metal. God, he's got no metal whatsoever. And his nearest metal is there. He's collecting a little bit. He's got so much stone, it's untrue. Christ, I've never... oh, here's the metal. He needs to be getting that. And if he's got stone, he really needs to be producing catapults. He could get himself into a very strong position. Okay, we've got 3 rams coming through there. We've got another ram here. He's got 4 rams there. See... Dunedan's killed 130 of Lorenz's troops, and yet Lorenz is still in a slightly stronger position. He's picking his fights really well. But these rams are surely going to take out this CC, and then it'll be interesting to see what happens from there, because if these guys can push in down the side, then that changes things completely. And he's trying to hack those. But we have here, again, more rams. This is what makes the embedded military camp so dangerous. You can just go in, stop him from producing any soldiers. Once again, ram picks a useless building. When he's got a barracks he could take out before those soldiers are produced. Now he probably won't quite make it. He needs to take that out. And going here down the side. Again, rams focusing on something of no value. They could be taking out some beers, but they're not. I've got catapults and so it's going. Oh, here they come. I don't think there's a huge amount here. Oh, he has put some swordsmen back in. These guys have taken out the rounds, but so it's a shame. These are just being left to basically be shot by those, which isn't good. But there were 3 rams there. How many people are in them? If I go to Lorenz, no one. Unusual for him. You've got a CC that's going down here, but the flip side of that is there's a CC potentially going down here. If he can get these guys round, he could knock out the barracks. He needs to get, the soldiers are just, he's so focused on his own things. He's got people there, these horses could be doing something, and he's still got no metal. So it looks very, very difficult from here. And where are his rams going? It's, yeah, going to be very, very tricky. I mean, these just, the numbers of soldiers coming back now, this isn't going to work. So we've got Dunedan with absolutely nothing. Now he's got his hero, but his rams are just getting stuck now. The civic centre survives. I mean, it's not completely lost, but where does he get the metal? He hasn't got a market, so he can't get the. Oh, it's all gone wrong. Yeah, that's it, and that is the end. So yeah, not having a market meant he couldn't get the metal together to actually build another civic centre. So that's safe. Unfortunately, the replay goes on for about another 10 minutes where they must have just been chatting about that. But a really, really good performance from Lorenz, and he used to great effect as per always. That little sneaky ram attack thing. It's just, it's brilliant. It's so simple, but it just seems to work so easily. So absolutely, well done. Let's have a quick look through the stats. You can see, look at that, he built more buildings, built more houses, more economic buildings, built more military buildings, same number of fortresses. He had, both of them had 2 civic centres, and both of them destroyed. He destroyed 2, he lost 2, he lost 1 and built an additional 1. In terms of units, Lorenz produced a hell of a lot more. And yeah, look at that, 18 siege weapons as opposed to 7, so those rams did a great job. His catapults in that defensive position were superb. Yeah, solid, collected more resources, did really well in that sense, collected more of everything apart from stone. That was one thing I found strange, like Dunedan didn't, if we have a look at the market, he just did not exchange off that stone. He didn't use the market once. He collected 16,000 and only used 5,000. He had no metal, and yet he didn't at any point exchange any of that. It's, yeah, bizarre, absolutely bizarre. Let's see, in terms of total score, economy, actually no, he was better at economy all the time through. In terms of military, he's never better. Dunedan was always better, but it doesn't matter. It's not just about your size, it's about how you use it, to quote a famous saying. You see the exploration score, like he knew more early on about the map. Fight activity again was better, but well, you just have to hand it to him. It's a great victory for Lorenz. Really, really good play, and he should be very proud of himself, and it's no surprise to see him moving on up in the 0 AD world. So I expect we'll follow some more of his matches, and I hope that we see him break into the top 100 pretty soon. So best of luck, Lorenz. Okay, thanks very much for watching, and I will see you all next week. Ciao.